Welcome back, seekers of lost lore and hunters of hidden histories, to another episode of Riddle Code, where the past is never as buried as those who want to hide it. And today we plunge into one of the most baffling, spine-tingling tales of modern history. A story that even the keenest detectives and most learned scholars have failed to crack. Join us as we peel back the layers of one of the greatest enigmas of our time. An unsolved mystery that continues to echo through the corridors of history, unanswered. It was a time and place much like our own, yet irrevocably different. The year was 1930, and the location, a remote village nestled in the heart of Canada's northern wilderness, seemingly cut off from the world. In the annals of history, few stories have resonated with such eerie familiarity, only to lead us deeper into a labyrinth of questions with no apparent exit. The tale of the lost village of Lake Anjikuni, tucked away deep in the vast expanse of the Canadian wilderness. The village of Lake Anjikuni was an isolated community inhabited by a tight-knit group of approximately 200 individuals. Their lives were a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness of the human spirit, forged in the face of the harsh realities of their environment. In this unforgiving landscape, the winters were long and brutal, testing the limits of human endurance, and the summers, though short, offered a brief window for subsistence farming and fishing. The village, therefore, bore the hallmarks of its environment: sturdy and self-reliant, resilient against the whims of fate. Homes were built close to the shores of the lake, a source of sustenance and a mirror to the harsh sky above. Life here was a daily struggle, a constant negotiation with nature for survival. Yet despite the challenges, the residents of Lake Anjikuni forged a life. They hunted for sustenance, fished in the frigid waters, and farmed whatever meager crops the unforgiving soil allowed. Their days were filled with the tasks essential to survival, and their nights were spent huddled around fires, sharing stories and laughter, forging bonds that were as strong as the ice that threatened to consume them. They were a community bound together, not just by proximity, but by shared hardship and unwavering hope. They celebrated their successes together, small as they might have been, and consoled each other during times of loss. And then there was the children. Their laughter must have echoed through the empty streets that day, their innocent joy a stark contrast to the grim tableau that was soon to replace it. They played amidst the rugged terrain, their games echoing the struggles of their parents, their laughter ringing with a freedom that was soon to be curtailed. This was their life, a simple, harsh existence, yet one that was theirs, a life that held within it the essence of their community. But as with all narratives, this too had a turning point, a moment that ripped the fabric of their reality and plunged them into an abyss of despair and confusion. It was a November day in 1930, a day that dawned like any other, promising a routine of hardship and hope. But fate had a different script in mind. For when the members of a nearby mining team arrived at the settlement, they were met with a scene that shattered the normalcy of their daily lives. They found the village eerily silent, a hush that was both unsettling and inexplicable. The usual cacophony of children's laughter, the murmur of adult conversation, the comforting sounds of a community going about its daily business, all were missing. A chill wind swept through the deserted settlement, carrying with it the whispers of a tragedy that was yet to be uncovered. As they ventured deeper into the village, the mining team stumbled upon scenes that sent shivers down their spines. The houses were in disarray, doors flung open as if abandoned in haste, furniture overturned, tools lay strewn about as if in the middle of use. Meals lay untouched on tables, suggesting that the villagers had suddenly risen from their seats, leaving their lives suspended in time. Toys and children's belongings were scattered around, hinting at a vanished childhood that would forever remain a mystery. It was as if an invisible hand had swept through the village, snatching the inhabitants from their daily routines and leaving behind only fragments of their lives. The animals, too, seemed to have vanished. Their kennels were empty, their food untouched, yet their leashes and collars lay nearby, silent witnesses to their disappearance. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and concern, the mining team pressed on. They found no sign of a struggle, no indication of where the villagers might have gone. The streets were empty, the houses were vacant. The village, once teeming with life, was now a ghost town, a living tomb of unanswered questions. They continued their search, hoping to find the villagers gathered somewhere outside the settlement, only to be met with more disturbing discoveries. Every house they searched, every corner they turned, told the same tale, a chilling narrative of sudden abandonment. It was as if the villagers had melted into thin air, leaving behind a haunting tableau of their final moments. With growing unease, the mining team began to piece together the fragments of this enigma. They found the villagers' personal belongings, their clothing, their documents, their cherished possessions, all lying abandoned, suggesting a hasty departure. But what could have caused such a mass exodus? Had a natural disaster struck? Was the village abandoned due to some unforeseen calamity? Or had something more sinister driven the villagers from their homes? Desperate for answers, the mining team delved deeper into the mystery. They scrutinized every detail, examined every clue, hoping to catch a glimpse of what might have transpired. But the village held its secrets close, offering no solace to those seeking closure. As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the deserted settlement, the mining team realized that they were not alone. There were others who had come to this desolate place seeking answers. A group of searchers from the Hudson Bay Company, alerted to the village's eerie quietude, had arrived on the scene. Together, these two groups formed a coalition of determined souls, united in their quest to unravel the enigma of the missing villagers. They combed through the village, searching every nook and cranny, hoping to find some indication of the villagers' whereabouts. Days turned into weeks, but the answers remained elusive. The village stood stoic, its secrets buried deep within its confines. Then came the discovery that chilled them to the core. While exploring the village cemetery, the searchers noticed that every grave had been disturbed. Some were freshly dug, while others showed the passage of time, yet none yielded the remains of the villagers. It was as if the very earth had swallowed them whole. This macabre revelation deepened the mystery, transforming it into a haunting spectacle that defied rational explanation. They unearthed items from the graves, personal belongings that had been laid to rest with the villagers. These included clothing, jewelry, and photographs. Some of the items were old, suggesting that the graves had been robbed over time, while others appeared to be relatively new, implying a more recent disturbance. This dual timeline raised more questions than it answered. Why had the graves been disturbed? And what had become of the remains? Theories abounded, each more speculative than the last. Had the villagers returned to claim their loved ones' remains after a mass disappearance? Or were there malevolent forces at play, desecrating the dead in some unholy ritual? The searchers were faced with a dilemma. Did they continue to unearth the past, or leave it to rest in peace? In the end, they decided to press on, driven by a relentless need to understand. But the cemetery held no more answers. The graves were empty, the remains nowhere to be found. It was as if the villagers had literally vanished into thin air, leaving behind no trace of their existence. And so the searchers were left with more questions than ever. What had happened to the villagers of Lake Anjou? Had they been taken by a natural disaster, a human conspiracy, or something more sinister? The case was officially reported, sending ripples of intrigue and alarm through the neighboring communities. Newspapers ran stories speculating on the possible scenarios, each vying to be the most plausible, yet none offering concrete answers. The authorities investigated, but the lack of physical evidence hindered their progress. It was as if the village, the people, and the very mystery had conspired to evade comprehension. The years passed, and the mystery deepened. The village, once a vibrant community, became a haunting reminder of the unknown. The houses, once filled with life, stood as empty shells, whispering tales of a vanished population. And so the enigma of the vanishing village remained a chilling testament to the inexplicable mysteries that continue to elude our understanding. Even today, the story of the lost village of Lake Enjikuni serves as a stark reminder of the limits of our knowledge. In the face of the unknown, we are often left grasping for answers, our understanding dwarfed by the immensity of what we cannot comprehend. The disappearance of the villagers remains a haunting echo in the annals of history, a chilling enigma that continues to resonate through the corridors of our collective consciousness. What are your thoughts on the unresolved riddle of the vanishing village? Do you believe a natural disaster struck the village, wiping it from existence without a trace? Are you inclined to think that a sinister force was at work, systematically erasing the village from reality? Or perhaps you share the belief that an alien presence may have descended, selecting its inhabitants for some unknown purpose. Feel free to share your perspectives in the comments section below. And if you're captivated by tales that delve into the unexplained and the enigmatic, we invite you to subscribe to Riddle Code. Join a community of seekers and explorers where we unravel the threads of history, mythology, and the unknown. Together, let's navigate the labyrinth of mysteries that our world offers, where every shadow holds a secret and every whisper echoes with untold stories. Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning, and remember, some secrets are best left buried.